Let's face it, conflict is something just about everyone would like to avoid, but in after school, we can't always avoid conflict between students. How will you resolve this conflict? Learn specific strategies to lighten the mood, bring core issues to the table, and have a conversation which expresses real feelings. Welcome to another Consult for Kids 3-Minute Mini. This is Conflict Resolution with me, Isaac Buentheo. Here are a few tips you can use to resolve conflict. 1. Make sure you move the students to a quiet area. 2. Set the agreements. And 3. Teach students to speak in iMessages. Move students to a quiet area. When working with students, you're going to come across students who have some sort of conflict with each other. And these things can often escalate very quickly because not all students are equipped with the proper tools to be able to work through conflict. If you have two students that are having some sort of conflict, the first thing that you want to do is move them to a quiet area so you can discuss what is going on. You may have to have your SC watch your class while you're dealing with the conflict. Moving students to a quiet area will help you calm both students down and give you the opportunity to talk to them. You want to choose an area where you can all sit and talk without being distracted. You also want to make sure that you have enough time to be able to resolve the conflict. It's never a good idea to try and resolve an ongoing issue in 5 minutes and expect that everything is going to be perfectly worked out. Set the agreements. Once you have your students in a quiet place and eliminated all distractions, you can set the agreements. Students should be able to speak one at a time and practice active listening so they do not interrupt each other. They must also speak in iMessages. There are also a few environmental agreements to keep in mind, such as making sure that both or all students are sitting in the same chairs. By doing this, you're eliminating the possibility that a student feels they're more important because they're in a special rolly chair. Students must be aware of the agreements before the conflict resolution session begins so that they understand how they must behave while resolving their conflict. Teach students to speak in iMessages. Students must be taught how to speak in iMessages so that they can speak to how they are feeling and not stating accusatory statements. An example of speaking in an iMessage is saying, "I feel blank when blank." Let's say that you have a student who is making fun of another student. The student who's being made fun of would utilize the iMessage by saying, "I feel sad when people make fun of me because it hurts my feelings." This strategy makes the other students aware of how they are feeling and why without blaming them by saying "you did this" or "you did that." When people make accusatory statements by saying "you did this," it automatically puts the other person on the defensive, making it difficult to resolve the conflict. Using iMessages eliminates that and makes it hard to argue because you're now talking about how someone is feeling. Utilizing this strategy when resolving conflict will go a long way in helping your students speak about their feelings and understanding how their actions affect other people. Let's review. Number 1, move your students to a quiet area. 2, set the agreements. And 3, teach your students to speak in iMessages. Thank you for watching another Consult for Kids 3-Minute Mini, Educational Services for After School. Check out our website at www.consultforkids.com and click on Best Practices for practical suggestions to strengthen your day-to-day work with young people.